quick book recap. Okay, so today we're diving into this pretty incredible story. Andres Pira. Guy goes from literally homeless in Sweden to a self-made billionaire over in Thailand.
Yeah, it's quite the journey.
And it's not just, the money part. It seems like the real story is this massive shift in how he thought about, well, everything, a total mindset overhaul.
Absolutely. His book, Homeless to Billionaire, it's really all about that cultivating what he calls an abundance mindset.
Right.
It lays out his path, but also the principles he used, things like setting goals, sure, but also harnessing positive emotions, managing risk, creating a supportive environment, learning from failures, and importantly, finding mentors. So our plan today is basically to unpack those key ideas, pull out some practical stuff that maybe, you could actually use.
Okay, let's start with that mental barrier thing.
Yeah.
Because honestly, how does someone go from being like a self-described delinquent to thinking like a billionaire, especially tackling risk? That fear aspect, it stops so many people, right?
Oh, completely. And Pira's take is interesting. He says risk-taking isn't something you're born with. It's a skill.
A skill, like playing the piano.
Sort of, yeah. Something you hone. You build it up by actively going after your goals and pushing through obstacles.
Yeah.
He really stresses having actual strategies to deal with that hesitation, that uncertainty.
Strategies, like
like what does that look like in practice?
Well, get this. He apparently gets his team and himself to go skydiving.
Skydiving? Seriously?
Jumps out of a plane. His logic is, look, if you can stare down that kind of primal fear, the everyday stuff, the anxieties about a presentation or a difficult conversation or business decision, they start to feel manageable. Those smaller fears, the ones that might usually freeze you up, they just don't seem as big anymore.
Wow. Okay, I'm definitely not signing up for skydiving anytime soon.
Yeah.
But the principle, so it's less about finding bravery and more about consciously deciding not to listen to the fear voice in your head.
Exactly that. It's a choice. But how? If someone feels genuinely paralyzed by fear, how do they even start making that choice? How do you just ignore those thoughts?
Yeah, and that's the core of it. Pira talks openly about his own early days, wrestling with stress, with fear. He wasn't born fearless. He says he triumphed over it by actively, consciously deciding to sideline those fear-based thoughts. He points out that fear is often the main driver for people, and it just shuts down their ability to see opportunities or embrace the unknown. And he's got some really practical tools for this. One thing is the barrier breakthrough journal.
Okay.
It's not just listing fears. The smart part, I think, is that you write down the barriers, say, fear of public speaking. Then you have to brainstorm 3 potential solutions.
Forcing the action step.
Right. So for public speaking, maybe it's join Toastmasters, practice on video first, start with a small group. It shifts your brain from just the fear to doing something about it, externalizing the anxiety, then tackling it.
That actually sounds doable. Lesson
Overwhelming. Totally. And another one is the challenge ladder. Each step is a slightly bigger risk, a slightly bigger goal.
Like levels in the game.
Exactly. Start small, succeed, then level up. Could be running a 5K, then training for a 10K, then a half marathon. Or, starting a conversation in a new language, then maybe trying a short presentation. It's gradual exposure.
Okay.
He also mentions a hesitation ledger, tracking those moments you felt uncertain and what actually happened. Did the bad thing happen? Usually not. Helps you see patterns.
Right.
And for physical fears, things like climbing walls, starting low, going higher, or even VR simulations now, right? For things like skydiving, to face it in a safe space first.
It makes a lot of sense. These small, controlled steps,
Yeah.
they build confidence, but maybe they also just make you better at judging risk generally.
I think so, yeah. If you volunteer for something new, maybe slightly scary, or learn an instrument, these things challenge your brain in new ways. They build new pathways, maybe strengthen cognitive skills overall. You get a broader range of experiences to draw on when you do face a bigger risk later. Now, just a quick point here. Pira's focus on positivity and ignoring fear is super powerful for some people. But, you could argue that too much might make someone ignore genuine red flags needed for sensible risk assessment.
Right, there's a balance.
Definitely. And what works for him might not be a perfect fit for everyone's personality or anxiety level, but the core idea is powerful. You can choose your mindset and train yourself to handle fear differently.
Okay, that's really clear. So moving from fear, Pira talks a lot about harnessing positive emotions. This bit really got me because he came from such a negative place early on. How does that switch happen? How do you actively create joy and optimism?
Yeah, that's a great question. He's very upfront about his difficult youth in Sweden, negative outlook, getting into trouble. He realized he had to consciously dial down the negativity and actively cultivate positivity.
Okay.
And he came up with this core idea he calls the principle of energetic contribution.
Energetic contribution. Sounds a bit woo-woo.
It can sound that way, but his explanation is more grounded.
Mm.
The idea is basically that your actions, your intentions, they put out a kind of energy, a vibration, and that energy attracts similar energy back to you, but amplified.
Amplified. How, like you give $1, you get 10 back. Is that what he means?
Yeah.
Because that sounds, well, a bit too easy.
Not quite like literal magic money, no, it's more subtle. He uses this amazing example. He made a really generous contribution to a Thai orphanage.
Okay.
And he stresses he did it purely to help the kids. No hidden agenda, no expectation of return, just genuine giving, genuine joy in helping. And somehow that act, that energy seemed to open doors because shortly after he made his first million.
Wow.
So the amplification isn't always direct financial quid pro quo. It's more like putting out genuine joy and fulfillment creates the conditions, the energetic alignment for more fulfillment and opportunity to flow back. It's about cultivating inner richness first. Yeah, he even mentions research suggesting our brains get a fulfillment kick from selfless acts. Kind of like exercise makes your body feel good. And practically, he suggests things like a fulfillment jar.
A fulfillment.
Yeah, simple idea. Every time giving makes you feel genuinely good, write it on a slip of paper, put it in the jar. Over time, you see this physical collection of positive impact, makes it tangible.
I like that.
Or maybe a give back portfolio, just deciding to set aside a small percentage each month for charity, or even just random acts of kindness. Or a give first policy, try to offer help before you ask for something. It shifts your whole orientation.
That's a really concrete way to track it. And I guess gratitude must tie into this whole positive mindset thing too.
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
Pivotal for him. Especially when he was really struggling after leaving Sweden, he realized that finding things to be thankful for, even tiny things, was essential for survival, mentally. He talks about this one specific time. A street food vendor gave him a meal when he had nothing, just an act of kindness. And later, he really came to appreciate the profound impact of that simple gesture on his spirit at the time. He argues you can always find something to be thankful for. And he carries this through to his business. He's big on acknowledging all wins, big or small, his own, his team's. He uses celebrations, even big group things like climbing volcanoes.
Volcanoes.
Yeah, to boost morale, build team spirit, create that shared sense of achievement and appreciation. For you, maybe it's a thankfulness trigger, like every time your phone buzzes, think of one thing you're grateful for.
Huh. Simple.
Or a gratitude graffiti wall at home, sticky notes where everyone writes down good stuff. It just builds that culture of noticing the positive, changes the emotional temperature.
So putting it together, it's not just about passively being happy. It's more like actively generating and sending out positive energy and trusting that it influences what comes back.
That's a great way to put it. It's intentional. Realizing your emotional state is a powerful tool.
Okay, makes sense. Now, environment. He also talks about the importance of the environment around you. How does he manage that, especially in business? Because negativity can spread like wildfire, right?
Absolutely. He found that a positive atmosphere directly boosts your chances for success, for opportunity. And negative vibes, they just drag everything down, undermine morale, kill collaboration.
Yeah, we've all seen that happen.
So Pira got really ruthless about cutting out negativity, even if it meant firing top salespeople if they had a toxic attitude.
Wow, even top performers. That takes guts.
It does. He says founders need to eliminate pessimism entirely. He even mentions adopting things like a no-gossip policy, getting employees to actively commit to maintaining a positive, high-vibration space. He also brings up Brian Tracy's advice here. If someone keeps underperforming or spreading negativity despite coaching and support, you have to cut ties quickly for the health of the whole team. Practically for you or your team, maybe it's starting meetings with a good news round. Everyone shares one positive thing. It just shifts the focus.
Yeah, changes the energy.
Or even doing a positive influence audit on your social media. Unfollow the negativity, follow more inspiring stuff, actively curate your inputs.
That's a great point, guarding your own mental space. So how does this positive environment idea connect to attracting good people? Does he just throw money at them?
Well, money's part of it, sure. But he argues it goes way beyond the paycheck. His approach is about making people feel genuinely valued.
How so?
He believes people want to be seen, heard, appreciated for more than just their job function. Real loyalty, he says, needs real investment from the company. And get this, he actually argues businesses benefit from paying above market rate.
Really, most companies try to keep costs down.
Exactly. He thinks that penny pinching creates a scarcity mindset in the team. Pira operates from abundance, offer top dollar, attract the best talent, foster loyalty, and that leads to better productivity, better service, more success overall. Treat people like valued partners, not just hourly workers.
So it's an investment, not just an expense. Paying well signals value and attracts the best.
Precisely. And it's not just money. He tells this great story about Nenny, his key aide. She turned down his initial high salary offers.
Why?
She was happy where she was. Pira figured out her real motivation wasn't just cash. It was her family, specifically her child's education. So what did he do?
Right.
He arranged for her child to move to Thailand and get into a top international school there.
Whoa. That's above and beyond.
Totally. But it showed he understood her values, her needs. He invested in her as a whole person, like a critical asset, and that secured her loyalty and talent. So practically, maybe it's things like skill-sharing lunches where people teach each other things, showing value beyond their job title. Or for you, thinking about your own beyond the paycheck list, what non-monetary things matter. Flexibility, learning opportunities, culture. Use that in your own career choices.
The Nenny story really illustrates the point. Okay, so a lot of this sounds like Pira figuring things out himself, but he also mentions learning from others. How big a role did mentors play?
Oh, huge. He's a massive believer in learning from the best, imitating successful businesses, seeking out experts.
Imitating, like copying.
Well, studying, really. He talks about his first big real estate project. He didn't just guess. He meticulously studied his competitors. Who did they hire for design, for inspections, for marketing?
Reverse engineering their success.
Exactly. He figured out the winning formula by looking at who the winners used. And by applying those proven principles, he won a major award right out of the gate. He really pushes scrutinizing what works for others in your field and adapting the best techniques.
So look at what works, figure out the why, and then customize it for yourself.
Yes, spot on. It's not about being a clone. It's about understanding the core principles driving their success and seeing how they fit your context, your style. Mentors, he says, are basically time savers.
Time savers.
Yeah, they help you skip the mistakes they already made. You integrate proven strategies faster than figuring it all out through trial and sometimes costly error.
That definitely makes sense. But I wonder, is there a risk of relying too much on mentors? Does it stifle your own creativity or innovation?
That's a fair question. And yeah, you still need critical thinking. You can't just blindly follow advice. You have to adapt it.
Right.
But Pira also makes a good point. Publicly acknowledging your mentors, giving them credit, actually reflects well on you, shows humility, willingness to learn. And mentors aren't just about advice, right? They often give crucial emotional support, that boost of confidence when things get tough.
True. Having someone in your corner.
Maybe even keeping a mentorship diary. Jotting down advice, how you applied it, what you learned, helps you actively process the guidance. So when you boil it all down, Pira's journey, this incredible leap, it seems to hinge on a few big ideas, really embracing that giving, service-first mindset, actively cultivating a belief in abundance, not scarcity, and just constantly looking for new possibilities and having the courage to act on them, even when it's scary.
What a story. It really hammers home that his transformation wasn't just about the money. It was this fundamental shift inside scarcity to abundance, fear to courage, taking to giving, changing your internal landscape to reshape your external reality.
Absolutely. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. If your thoughts, your actions, your intentions really do create the energy you project, what kind of reality are you building for yourself and for those around you day in and day out?